Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you how to implement cascading drop-down list control in MVC. And here we got the final output. We got the three drop-down list controls: country name, states and cities. I'm selecting the country name India, select states Telangana, which is the Hyderabad. If I select USA, I'm selecting the states of USA, Texas. Austin is the capital of the Texas. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in MVC, first we'll create a tables of country, state and the capital, which is a city. I'm expanding the root folder of the SQL server. Databases, I'm expanding that one. The sample DB is my user database. I want to create the tables in this sample DB database. I'm expanding the sample DB as well as tables. Right click the sample DB database to create a table. New query. Create table dbo dot country In this country table, I'm creating two columns. One is a country ID and the second one is a country name. CID is which is integer data type, not null. And I want to make this column as an auto-generate column. I'm adding identity 1, 1, as well as I'm adding primary key for this column, comma. The second one is a country name, CNAME varchar 100. Let's copy this. The second table I'm creating state, and a column name I'm adding SID, which is a state ID, and SNAME, state name, comma. After that, in the state table, I'm adding the country ID, which is a CID, integer data type. Let's copy this one. The last table is just city, city ID, city name, C capital I'm adding. And here I'm adding the state ID. Let's create the tables, execute, and we got a message command completed successfully. Right click the tables, refresh, and here we got the country. Right click the country name, edit top 200 rows. Let's add some records. Country ID, which is the auto-generate column. The first country name I'm adding India. The second country name I'm adding USA. And the third country name is Australia. Just for the demo purpose, I'm adding only 3 country names. Let's add some state names in the state table. Right click the state, edit top 200 rows. SID is the auto-generate column. The S name is, the India country ID is the 1. So the country ID is a 1. State name is a Karnataka. Country ID is a 1. Let's add the state names of Australia. Queensland. The country ID of the Australia, which is 3. Victoria. Country ID is 3. Western Australia. The country ID is 3. And the last one, right click the city, edit top 200 rows. The city ID is the auto-generate column, and the city name City name for the Telangana, which is a capital, Hyderabad, and state ID is 1. And second city name is a Karnataka, which is a Bangalore. City ID is 2. And the last city name I am adding for the Australia, Western Australia, which is Perth. The state ID is 10. That's it. We have created the tables and we have inserted some country, state and the city names. Now we'll write the coding part in MVC. Let's open Microsoft Visual Studio. I'm creating a new project for this video tutorial. Go to File, New, Project. And I'm selecting the ASP.NET Web Application and the .NET Framework is 4.6.1. The project name is Cascading MVC. Okay. And from the templates I'm choosing MVC4. Okay. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this window. First, in this project I'm adding these 3 tables using ADO.NET Entity Model. Open Solution Explorer, right click the project name, add ADO.NET Entity Data Model, click that one, and the model name I'm giving Cascading. Okay. I'm choosing the model contents, the first one, EF Designer from database. Click Next. New connection. I'm adding the server name of SQL Server user. After adding the server name, I'm selecting the database name. And here our database name is a sample DB. We have created the tables in this sample DB only. So I'm selecting the sample DB, test connection. Okay. Okay. And I want to save this connection string in the web.config file. And the connection string name is a sample DB entities. Next. From database objects, I'm expanding the tables, I'm expanding the DBO. Our table names are city, country, and state. Finish. And here we got the 3 tables: city, country, and state. After adding the models into the project, next go to Solution Explorer. I'm minimizing the references. I'm creating a new class in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add class. And the class name I'm giving cascading class, add. And here we got the class. Now in this class I'm creating the public properties, public int CID, which is a country ID, get and set. Let's copy this one. The second property is the state ID, and the third one is a city ID. City ID. After adding the properties in the cascading class, now I'm creating a controller. Open Solution Explorer, right click the controllers, add controller. I'm choosing the MVC file controller empty, add. The controller name is a cas. add now in this controller I'm adding the namespace of the model using the project name is a cascading MVC dot models. After adding this namespace, public list class. Now in this list class I'm adding the country table name, which is dbod country, which is country. Copy that one and pasting here. Get country list. The sample db entities sd is equals to new sample db entities list class again country. I'm declaring an object countries is equals to sd dot countries dot to list return countries. Now I'm adding this method into this index action result. Sample db entities sd is equals to new sample db entities view bag dot country list is equals to new select list. I'm adding three parameters. The first one is the get country list method, comma, and the first object selected is a CID, which is a country ID, and the next column name is a country name, which is a C name, this one. Up to now we have just finished to fetch the country names into this index action result. Let's create a new view for this index. But before creating a new view for this index action result, we need to build this solution. Build solution. And here we got the output message build succeeded. Let's close this output message window. Highlight the index, right click, add view. The view name for the action result is the index only, and the template I'm choosing empty without model. Add, and here we got the index view page. The first thing I'm adding the add model. The project name is the cascading MVC dot models dot, our class name is a cascading class. After adding this model cascading class, I'm changing the header MVC cascading dropdown list. Add if condition. Now in this if condition I'm adding the view back country list. Copy this one and pasting here is not equals to null. Now inside this if condition I'm adding the dropdown list control, dropdown list for at html dot dropdown list for m dot I'm adding the country ID, which is a CID, comma, view back country list as select list, comma, I'm adding the default header, which is a select country name, comma, new at class is equals to form control. That's it, we have just binded the country names into this drop down list form. Let's check the output. But before run this application on the browser, the main important thing is go to Solution Explorer, expand the app underscore start, route config.cs, open that one, and notice here the controller name is a home, which is a default one, but our controller name is a cas controller. Just copy this cas, delete the home, and add our controller name. And the next one is the action, which is a view page. Our view page is the index only, so I'm not changing anything. Switch back to the index.cshtml. Let's check the output. The country name is binded to the drop down list for or not. Google Chrome. And here we got the output. The heading is the MVC cascading drop down list, and the select country name. See, we have binded the country names India, USA and Australia. We'll add the state names into a drop down list control. I'm stop debugging. Let's close this. Switch to the controller. I'm creating a new action result for the state list. Public action result get state list. I'm declaring a variable integer country ID CID sample DB entities. I'm creating an object for the connection string. SD is equals to new sample DB entities list class. In this list class, I'm adding the table name state table, select list is equals to sd.states dot where method. I'm adding lambda expression x column dot CID, which is a country ID, double equals to, I'm adding this variable CID dot to list method viewback dot slist is equals to new select list. Now in this select list method, I'm adding this select list object, comma, between these double quotes I'm adding the SID, which is the state ID, comma, state name. Return. Here in the return I'm adding partial view. Between double quote I'm adding the partial view name. Display states. Let's copy this display states, which is a partial view name. Now it's time to create the partial view. To create a partial view, come to the bottom and notice there is a shared folder. Right click the shared folder, add view, the view name I'm adding display states, which is our partial view name, and the template I'm selecting empty. The model class I'm selecting the state, and the data context class is sample DB entities only. And the last one is very important. Notice in the options the create as a partial view is checked. Add. And here we got the partial view of display states. Option value is equals to, I'm not adding any value, select states and if viewback.aslist, copy that one, is not equals to null, for each loop variable item in viewback.aslist option value is equals to at item dot value at item dot text. That's it, the coding part in the partial view to display the states. Switch to the index.cshtml. Let's copy this. Paste here. Select state name. Select states. Instead of CID, m.sid. We don't require this one. New. Select list. To bind the partial view display states into this drop-down list for control, we need to add the JavaScript script dollar document dot ready function dollar between double quotes. I'm adding the CID. When I user select the country ID, I want to display the states of that country. Hash CID dot change. I'm creating a function. Creating a variable country ID is equals to dollar this dot value debugger dollar dot ajax type, which is a post, so here comma URL colon between double quotes, the path I'm adding between double quotes, the controller name CAS, copy this one, paste here. After forward slash, I'm adding the action result page, which is a get state list, copy this one, paste here, question mark, I'm adding the CID, which is a country ID, is equals to plus country ID, comma, content type HTML. I'm adding success attribute, function response debugger. Once the user selects the country ID, the states available of that country, I want to display this function dollar between double quotes hash. Here I'm adding SID, which is a state ID dot empty method dollar between double quotes SID dot append. Now in this append method, I'm adding this response to display the state names into this drop down list control. But before run this application, We need to add the jQuery reference here. Open Solution Explorer. Notice there is a scripts folder here. Expand that one. And we need to drag jQuery 1.10.2.min.js into this index view page. Just highlight this one, drag and drop. That's it. Now it's time to check the output on the browser Google Chrome. And here we got the output. I'm selecting the country name, India. Select states. So here we got Telangana. If I select USA, California, Texas and New Jersey. For Australia, Queensland, Victoria and Western Australia. Now the last one will add one more drop-down list control to bind the capital of the states, which is the city names. And stop debugging. Switch to the controller. Let's add a new action result to get the city names. Copy this one. Paste here. I'm just changing, instead of get state list, I'm adding here city. Instead of CID, I'm adding SID, which is the state ID. Here in the list class, I'm adding city, which is the table name, sd dots cities, where x dot sid this variable. Now view bag city list now between these double quotes I'm adding the city ID, which is this one, city ID. Copy this one. I'm pasting here. City name. In the partial view, display cities. That's it. We have created a new action result for the cities, but we need to create a partial view, which is a display cities. Copy this one. To create a partial view, again go to Solution Explorer, come to the bottom, in the shared folder, right click that one, add view. The view name is the display cities and the template empty, the model class. At this time here I am selecting the city data context class, which is a sample DB entities only, and we must select this create as a partial view checkbox control. Add. And here we got the partial view for the display cities. Instead of writing the code again, I'm just copying this display states code. I'm deleting this view bag as list. I'm adding view bag dot city list. Copy this one, paste here. I'm pasting here. Select states, select cities. That's it in the partial view to display the city names. Now switch to the index.cshtml. Copy this one, and this drop down list for the cities. So I'm deleting m.sid, which is now m.cityid cities. Let's copy this function, paste here. Instead of CID, which is a country ID, I am adding the state ID and the URL which is a get city list. Copy this one. Question mark state ID. I'm changing the variable state ID. I'm adding here this city ID. That's it, we have done the complete coding part. Now it's time to check the results in the browser, Google Chrome. And here we got the final output. We got the 3 drop-down list controls: country name, states and cities. I'm selecting the country name India, select states Telangana, which is the Hyderabad. If I select USA, I'm selecting the states of USA, Texas. Austin is the capital of the Texas. That's it.